Ever wondered what exactly the different Witcher schools are, how they came to be, and why there is more than one of them? In this video, I'll explain what the Witcher schools are based on both the books and the games, and not the slop that is the Netflix series. Let's get into it, shall we? Andrzej Sapkowski doesn't write encyclopedic, lore-dense fantasy with pages of rigid world-building. Witcher lore is fragmentary. It's scattered across short stories, novels, offhand dialogue, and in the case of the games, journal entries and environmental storytelling. Much of it is left deliberately incomplete, forcing the reader or player to piece it together. What I'll attempt here is to take those fragments and form something more cohesive. I also won't be covering every school ever mentioned, only the schools that are prevalent in the games and have enough supporting material to analyze meaningfully. So before we talk about the schools themselves, we need to understand two things: what Witchers are and why they were created in the first place. The conjunction of the spheres. Everything begins with the most important event in the Witcher universe, the conjunction of the spheres. The conjunction was a metaphysical catastrophe, a collision of realities. Different worlds, governed by different physical and metaphysical laws, briefly overlapped. Fragments of those realities bled into one another. Creatures, energies, and even concepts crossed over. Originally, the world of the continent was stable. It had its own natural laws, its own ecosystems, and its own native inhabitants. Humans were not among them. No one in the books truly knows what caused the conjunction. It is never attributed to intent or design. It is described instead as a natural calamity, a cosmic accident. What the conjunction did was fundamentally alter the rules of the world. Magic existed before it, but in stable, contained forms. After the conjunction, raw magical energy, chaos, became embedded into the fabric of reality. What had once been anomalous became natural. The original inhabitants of the world were the Ansaida, the people of the hills, the elves. According to elven memory, they were the first civilization on the continent, predating humans by centuries. Other elder races existed as well, such as dwarves and gnomes, but the elves remembered themselves as the first to shape the world meaningfully. Humans arrived later, likely through the same cosmological instability caused by the conjunction, and rapidly expanded, displacing the elder races. Monsters and magic. Now to monsters, the reason witches exist at all. Creatures from other realities flooded into the world after the conjunction, but the world was not built for them. Fundamentally, it operated under different rules than their worlds of origin. Many monsters could not survive naturally. What sustained them was magic, chaos, the raw field of energy now permeating the world. Magic allowed these creatures to live, reproduce, and adapt. It is also why monsters are vulnerable to silver. In the Witcher universe, silver reacts violently to magical energies. It disrupts and destabilizes creatures whose existence depends on chaos. This is not symbolism, it is metaphysics. The creation of Witchers. Humanity was losing the war against monsters. In response, mages gathered and combined arcane knowledge with alchemy to create Witchers. Beings of human origin, but no longer fully human. Through years of experimentation, they developed the trial of the grasses, an alchemical process that permanently alters the human body. Most children subjected to it died. Those who survived were transformed. Their bodies became stronger, faster, resilient. Their senses sharpened. Their hair lost pigmentation. Their emotions were dampened, not removed, but suppressed to improve survival and decision-making. Witchers were not designed to be heroes. They were designed to be tools, efficient, neutral, and lethal to what preyed on humanity. Why Witcher schools exist. Originally,
Witchers operated in unison under the oversight of mages. But unity did not last. Witchers were never identical. Different mutagens were used. Different bodies reacted differently. Even the trial itself produced variation. As Vesemir explains in Blood of Elves, Witchers have never been of one mind. The trial makes each of them unique, and unique minds do not always dwell together in peace. Disagreements over mutation philosophy, training methods, ethics, and autonomy led to fragmentation. To preserve knowledge and maintain discipline, Witchers separated into schools, each centered around a keep or stronghold. Each school developed a mutation philosophy, a combat doctrine, a code of conduct. Over time, these differences became fundamental. The School of the Wolf. The School of the Wolf was established at Kaer Morhen, a remote fortress in the mountains of Cadwyn. Kaer Morhen served as both a training academy and the site of the Trial of the Grasses. Under instructors like Vesemir, the Wolf School emphasized balance, not specialization. Wolf Witchers were trained to adapt to all forms of combat: swordplay, signs, alchemy, and tactics. Ethically, they stressed neutrality, restraint, and the ability to choose the lesser evil in a morally compromised world. They were encouraged to act logically rather than emotionally, yet not cruelly. Unlike more ruthless schools, the Wolf School retained a measure of compassion, or at least prudence, in dealing with both humans and monsters. Kaer Morhen fell into ruin after pogroms against Witchers, the loss of mutation knowledge, and the declining need for monster slayers. By the time of The Witcher 3, the keep is abandoned in all but name. With Vesemir's death, the School of the Wolf loses its last master. No living Witcher can recreate the Trial of the Grasses. The school survives only as tradition, memory, and gathering place, not as an institution. The School of the Cat. Among all Witcher schools, the School of the Cat stands apart as the most controversial and fractured. Where the Wolf School represents balance and restraint, the Cat School represents adaptation through alienation. Witchers shaped by altered mutations, exile, and rejection. The Cat School split from the original order over disagreements regarding mutation experimentation, training methods, ethical boundaries. Cat School. Witchers underwent different mutations, favoring speed, reflexes, and stealth over endurance. These mutations often resulted in psychological instability. Both the books and games repeatedly portray cat witchers as emotionally volatile, impulsive, or prone to cruelty. This is not mere reputation. In the short stories, Geralt encounters cat witchers who kill humans for coin, act sadistically, display emotional instability unusual even among witchers. Where wolf witchers suppress emotion, cat witchers often retain it or have it amplified. Rage, bitterness, and paranoia are common traits. Driven from keeps, hunted by authorities, and despised by common folk, many cat witchers abandoned monster hunting altogether and became assassins or mercenaries. Their school collapsed not from a single purge, but from internal betrayal, persecution, and fragmentation. By Geralt's era, the School of the Cat exists only as scattered individuals, witchers in name but not in unity. The School of the Griffin. The School of the Griffin emphasized discipline, structure, and heavy use of signs. Griffin witchers leaned closer to knightly ideals than other schools. They believed witchers should act as protectors, not merely hired killers. Their training favored magical aptitude and battlefield control. This philosophy often put them at odds with both other witchers and the political powers of the continent. The Griffin School ultimately went extinct, destroyed by intolerance, internal rigidity, and the same societal decline that consumed all witcher institutions. The School of the Bear. The School of the Bear, based in the harsh environments of the North, valued endurance, strength, and survival. Bear witchers favored heavy armor and brute resilience. Their philosophy was pragmatic. survived the environment first, the monster second. They were isolationists by nature and adapted to extreme climates, such as Skellige. Like the others, the bear school eventually collapsed, leaving behind only ruins and scattered relics. The School of the Viper. The School of the Viper, operating largely within Nilfgaardian influence, focused on precision, poisons, and dual blades. They were pragmatic, flexible, and politically entangled. Unlike other schools, Viper Witches were more willing to work within power structures rather than remain neutral. Their dissolution came through manipulation and imperial politics rather than open persecution. Closing thoughts. The Witcher schools were never meant to last. They were tools created for a specific crisis. And when the world changed, they decayed. What remains are fragments, ruins, armor, half-remembered philosophies, and a few surviving Witchers navigating a world that no longer needs them.